Hello everyone. So today I'm doing another Sudoku video, and um, this video is gonna be more about tips and because I already gave you all the actual methods that I'm using to solve Sudokus, all the ones that I know at least. I don't. I've been trying to think about it, and yeah, I don't know any more methods. That's it. That's it. Only like there's actually 5 of them. So first, let's do a summary, or like let's recapitulate. How do you say? Just let's remind ourselves about those 5 methods. So first we have triangulation. So that's the idea that you have multiple numbers, like you have a number and then it makes a line throughout the whole row or column, and you can consider, okay, that line does not have that particular number. For example, you have 5 somewhere, number 5, the whole line, horizontally, vertically, will not have 5. And that's very useful. You can isolate numbers like that. Number 2, you have number pushing. So this is the idea that within one line, if you see a number, let's say in a box, so that number cannot be in that same box again. So therefore, within one line, you kind of push that number into the other part of the lines. So number pushing, very useful as well. Then you have enhanced triangulation. Wait, which one was that? Oh yeah. Enhanced triangulation is simply the idea that even though so if you know that a number is only going to be at 2 or 3 places within one line, then you can just eliminate the whole line. So even you didn't confirm one number into one cell, let's say the number is just into, let's say the number is within 2 cells, as long as it's on the same line, you can just eliminate the rest of the line, right? So normally it's within one box, but actually even within 2 boxes, you can actually do the same logic. Like oh, okay, this number can be only at these 2 positions, and then the whole line is eliminated, right? Next, what do we have? We have a feeling. Feeling, this is the idea that just think about any box or any line that is almost done. There's only 2 or 3 missing. So start doing the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You see, okay, this one is missing this number and this number. Then you can usually guess, like, okay, we need this number. So if it cannot be anywhere, it has to be here. So number feeling is pretty useful for finishing up lines and boxes. And then we have maximum occupancy, which is like I don't know if I would consider it like a hardcore method, but it's just the last one that I've discovered. So for me, it's like the most difficult. But the idea is that when you have a space for 3 numbers or 2 numbers or whatever, like let's say you have only space for X numbers. Let's say, for example, space for 2 numbers, but you have 3 possibilities. Wait, no, how does it work? Okay, so you have space for 2 numbers, and let's say you have 2 number possible, then you can actually box those cells and no other number can fit there. So that's kind of like maximum occupancy. So you have, like, let's say you have 3 cells, could be anywhere, 3 different cells, and within those 3 cells you have only 3 possibilities. Then you can just box those out. Doesn't matter if you know whether or not you know what those cells are. As long as you know, okay, within those 3 cells, there can be only 3 numbers, just box them out. No other number can be in there. Very useful, max occupancy. And those are all the hints. So how can you use hints? So I feel like I kind of misspoke, when in the beginning I was saying, like, giving the tip that, okay, don't write down anything, just don't write any hints, just do everything in your head. Well, actually, when you're starting, it's really difficult. It's actually okay, to write things in the beginning. So I'm going to give you hints about what to write. So now let's say you have two cells, and you know within those two cells, like let's say you have any number. I'm going to pick like number 2, for example, and you know number 2 has to be only within a few cells. Let me see, maybe there's 2 cells, and you know that the number 2 has to be within those 2 cells. So instead of, so you cannot put like 2 in a big, otherwise you're going to get confused, like, oh, is 2 a confirmed number? No, it's not. So you just write small and very small, and then at the bottom or at the top, but just make sure that it's very small, like takes maybe like 1/4 of the of a normal number, And also, if the two numbers are adjacent, you could actually put into different cells, or you can actually overlap the small number on the line. That's something that I did sometimes as well. And that's very useful, you know that, okay, 2 can only be there. And let's say later you figure out another hint, like, oh, you have 3 can only be in those 2 spots as well. And there you have maximum occupancy. And once you have maximum occupancy, you can decide, yeah, let's highlight this box a little bit more to make sure to know that there's no other number that can be in there. And that's one way that you can isolate things, because that's very visual, you know this box is completely blocked. And later when you have things like when you use triangulation, when you determine like, okay, there's a whole line that is completely blocked, then you can find exactly where the number is. So that's one good thing, that's how you could use hints when solving Sudoku. And another thing that I wanted to talk about, like, is how to fix errors. So everybody makes mistakes, we are all humans, and sometimes you put you use the logic a little bit loosely, and then you didn't notice, or like there was like this number right here or somewhere, and you could have made a mistake. Let's say within the same line you confirm twice the same number, and that's bad. So one thing to remember is that a lot of time mistakes are made within the last few moves that you made. So if you see there's something wrong, and you notice like, okay, maybe I can try to remove the last few moves that I made, that's one thing that you could do, and especially, look at the last box that you were working on. Maybe, okay, fix that box and then see like, okay, is this like, did I just make a mistake within the last few numbers that I put? But sometimes it is not the case. Sometimes, you made a mistake like way in the beginning, and then basically most of your board is completely wrong, and that's not very good. So in that case, unfortunately, you might have to start over from scratch. I mean, I guess if you did everything with pencil, you could erase everything. But usually I don't do that. Usually what I do is I start from scratch by giving myself a second chance. And what I do is that I start protecting all the numbers that are 100% sure. So which one are 100% sure? Well, the ones given in the instruction. The number in the instructions are 100% sure. And then from that, I start to use like very simple logic and going very slowly to confirm the numbers that I'm 100% sure about. So usually, if I see like triangulation, like those are very obvious. You can say like, okay, if I found a number using triangulation, I'm sure about it. Then I start to put a square around that number, and little by little, I start making more progress and just putting more squares about the thing that I'm sure about. If there's some number that I figure out using a different method, like not triangulation, or like not the easy ones like triangulation or number pushing, but let's say I use macro occupancy, then I still can put a square, but I just try to be a little bit more careful, because this is like the second chance. The first time I went through quickly and I made mistake. This time, if I go very, very slowly, then I can put, like, say, okay, those numbers are for sure. So this is my techniques for solving Sudoku. Yeah, maybe next time we're gonna try to solve the actual one, because I'm talking a lot, but if I cannot prove that I can solve a Sudoku, then you're not gonna believe me, right? So I'm gonna try like to do a Sudoku challenge. Okay, thank you, and see you next time. Ciao.